here already seated, and we'll be looking at that shortly. Please stay with us.
This is Hard Facts.
All right, welcome back. It is 5 minutes past 4 in the city of Lagos, and it's a hot and humid day. I understand traffic on the island is bumper to bumper. I guess I hear some renovation work, rehabilitation work rather, is going on around the marina axis of town. So if you're driving into the island or out of the island, take your time and listen to this discussion we're about to have. It's a big discussion. It's a discussion I think we all should have every day. World Suicide Prevention Day has a theme called Working Together to Prevent Suicide. And all the themes for previous years have always been remarkable. This year, none any more or less rather spectacular. And this is marked every 10th of September to raise awareness about taking action worldwide to prevent the cases of suicides. Several events and activities are usually organized on this day to make people understand that suicide is a major preventable cause of premature death. So is what we're going to be having our discussion on today. I have with me today discussion a panel. Seun Dosomu is a mental health advocate. I've known him for a number of years, and this is what he does. And a number of programs I've seen him also champion on the need for us to raise the mental health awareness. Joy Iseki is a counselor. She's focused on assisting individuals develop that system that they can cope with emotional delivery towards healing, love, and fulfillment. Thank you very much, Joy, and as well as thank you also to Seun for coming. And then finally, Olusegun John, a young clinical psychologist with years of active clinical practices. Analytical mindset helps in to see perfectly through a client's own world, which has yielded positive treatment outcomes over time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, and so our panel is ready for our discussion today on the World Mental Health Day. So let's start first and foremost. Let me start with you, Seun, on this one. And thank you for getting everyone here, because I know it's such a busy day. And when I spoke with you about this, you said it would be great to have also major actors involved who can tell the story about what we're dealing with here. I know the numbers have risen. The conversation has also increased. Even the focus over the years has also changed. I know that in the past it used to be a taboo subject, but every now and then you turn on the radio, the TV, if you go on social media, people are talking about suicide. Maybe not in the way we expect that they will talk in a more beneficial way, but at least they're having a conversation. So tell us, with the World Prevention Day Against Suicide, for Nigeria, what is the narrative and your perspective?
Okay, good evening. Without a doubt, the numbers are increasing by the day. And for us who are mental health advocates, we are beginning to hear diverse issues and attempts of suicide. People telling you, I cut myself, I feel so low, I feel I've not achieved so much due to the pressures that come from society, family, and stigmatization. So the numbers are increasing, especially in tertiary institutions. You find young minds who are supposed to be having a ball. When I say ball here, I mean having a great time learning, but they are faced with relationship issues, and they are peer pressure, going out to do all sorts of things, and it's coming back at them at a level they can't even comprehend. So the next option for them is I need to take my life, I need to leave this world for them, let them enjoy all that they have, all the cars and all of that. So it's the pressure is real, and we need to address all of these issues.
And it's great everyone here is in the young category of the real young category is the sort we're talking about, because the statistics also show that it's mostly young people who are affected by this. The least people who I've seen go through suicide are people over 80. I mean, if you're 80 years old, I'm not too sure suicide is something that they'd be thinking, you live 80 years of your life already. But then most young people, just like Sean has said, Joy, you're a counselor and you focus on assisting individuals develop the system. Let's talk about the factors that have led to this phenomenon in Nigeria now. I understand it's been there before, but I think whether it's been there before or not, the fact that it's happening everywhere is something that is of great concern to everyone. And maybe social media sort of pushed out the discussion to the forefront. We're getting stories and pictures and now and again. What do you say are the key factors involved in suicide in Nigeria?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Right.
Okay. In Nigeria, I think majorly we have a lot of economical issues. And like Sean said, for the youth, most of the youth in Nigeria, the major reason for suicide ideation, the ones that I've spoken with and the ones that I've had to work with at some time, is usually the academics and a lot of financial distress. They have issues at home. Their parents are not able to take care of their needs, and so they feel in comparison to people they think are doing well, they feel inferior, and then they are unable to deal. I think in a way, social media just helped us to project a particular image that our youth think that they have to live up to, and for me that has been a big deal. And then yes, suicide has been ongoing in Nigeria for years. I think what social media did was just to make it more known, because I can recall very well growing up how many people, even in my street, did commit suicide. But then there was no so much about social media hype and all of that. So I think what we're currently going through is just revealing the societal ills, what is going on in our country at the moment, okay? And unlike before, when, I don't know, I and Shane were even discussing that before we came in. Shane was saying that, is it that our capacity, our resilience capacity kind of reduced? What happened? Because a lot of these issues that is leading to this suicide, some of us did go through it.
Yeah.
So I don't think resilient capacity reduced. I think that there's more pressure, than before. Before the era of social media, I could just live my life. Even then, this thing of asking boy out, and he was on the street. He was done on the street,
Absolutely.
But now one thing is done, and then it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's this need for comparison. There's this where am I going relative to this next person?
Yeah.
So there's pressure, and this pressure they are not able to deal. They don't have the right information. They are not exposed mentally in terms of information and knowledge and all of it. So the pressure is so much to bear, and suicide is just an escape route.
Yeah.
I tell people that a lot. It's not that people really want to kill themselves. What happens most times, they are looking for escape from the pain or the shame or the guilt or what they feel. They just want to escape. If they find a way of escape, they usually would not commit suicide. So I think our intervention method will be a method that helps them kind of ameliorate these pains that they go through, and in a way to give them more perspectives, in terms of mind change,
which is what we're doing here, so we can
part
get
of it.
A lot of the perspective in the discussion. Joy also does a lot with the online through her webinars and all of that. We'll talk about which is this discussion is about, to see how we can prevent suicide from happening. Not necessarily to say this is a cynical view to say that we have suicide everywhere and all of that, but how to prevent it from happening is the focus also for the theme. How we can work together to prevent it, which takes us to the clinical psychologist here. We understand the numbers are, pale hugely with the population we have in the country. Last time I spoke with Memuna Kadri, who's a great friend of mine, as a clinical psychotherapist, right? Okay, and a consultant. And she said we probably have about 300, right?
Yeah, less than registered.
Less than 200 registered for a country population
of about
of 200 million people. I mean, it's a far cry from where we should be, but it's where we are today and what we have to deal with. And if we ask a number of people what they think about suicide, the first thing is the way it's been talked about. When I said that people talk about suicide more often now, but unfortunately it's misinformation we get out. because we don't have the right information, which is why we're here to let people understand just what the real issues are. And people have alluded it to have the spiritual connotations. They've denigrated people who have, health issues, not just the people on the street, even the arts. People joke about these things, in comedy and all of that. And unfortunately, these are real issues that affect lives. And those numbers I see, even in terms of lives which are lost through all the violent means, happens with them. As a clinical psychologist, where do we start from as a people?
Okay. Let me say something that is this intentional act of perhaps trying to take their whole life, which everybody sees it as suicide. You can say that maybe it's now becoming common, it's becoming rampant and things like that. In our own world, we still believe that it's still underreported, because if we look backward, following the history of suicide as a condition itself,
right?
The government, the society, everybody frown at it, and behaviors that people frown at it, people tend to report it less often. So as many figures that you are getting, it appears that the reality of it is even much more disturbing than what we are seeing. So what I was saying in essence is that suicide is not a thinking, it's not like a conscious thing. We see it as a function of a distorted thinking process.
Good.
Because it's not a rational thought to say, I want to end it all. At that point that person is taking that decision, the judgment is impaired. And at that point, you can say this is a mental health issue. However, like I always tell people just don't wake up and say, I want to end it all. They've been crying for help. The problem is a whole lot of people have refused to identify those warning signs. Someone...
In fact, we sort of can even build a tent from here. Crying for help. So this is something I see and I hear often. Someone cried for help with a mental health challenge. But unfortunately, where they got the help from worsened the situation. So where do we start with first? Do we first of all help people who cry out for help and tell them, don't go to this sort of people for a start, and they're only going to worsen the situation? Or do we just go first and say, if you are crying for help with a mental health situation, where do you go to?
Okay, perhaps we'll take it one after the other because it's something so big. But we can say that the crying for help, first we have to be everybody. Because it's not a job of, like you already know, the numbers of the professional psychiatrists, psychologists that deal with this kind of condition, the numbers compared to the populace is, the ratio is something else we can't even talk about. So in a tertiary institution, like Sean said earlier, we have a lot of cases, and we still getting them every day. So who are the people that are the solution giver? The counselors, because they see them first. The pastors, because I must say that people would go to the pastor first, whether you like it or not, because they are the first point of contact. Some people see it as cheaper. Some people see it as, okay, they are closer, they are accessible.
Religious leaders.
Forgive me. Pastors, imam.
So that the guys who are in the other religions don't think they are safe.
In the other room, okay. They, forgive me, the religious leaders, rather.
Right.
You see people going to them. However, in one of my talks some time ago, I said, let these people understand that when you do some palliative measure, then you refer for the appropriate thing to be done to these other hospitals, other people that can handle it. First, we must know that this condition is not religiously inclined. The assumption is still very much flurried around us. Many people believe that it's the evil spirit that made you to start thinking about taking your own life. If you trace it back to the Yoruba people, there's this, they believe that is the king, instead of the king avoiding the shame, he will decide to open the calabash. Are we together? So in that context, people see suicide and all these other issues as somebody bewitching you, somebody giving you problem, and it's a behavior that has been reinforced over time. So perhaps there's no way you can discourage them. So first and foremost, we need to let people know that this is a medical health condition, and they should know that they can get help using important medication, interventions, psychotherapy, some of these laid down interventions that can help them.
Go over it again, because you just breezed over.
Oh, okay,
I'm going to
okay.
come to Sheun and Joy on this point that you're raising on.
Okay.
These are the people. First, it's a medical.
It's a
challenge.
medical
Just remind everyone that we are streaming this live on Facebook, so you can watch all of us on the panel on Facebook while the discussion is going on this World Suicide Prevention Day. Sheun Dosumu. Olusegun John is the one who just spoke earlier on, and Joy Ikeki is also here too. She's smiling at herself over there, and we're having this conversation. And just trying to get a point that Olusegun John talked about on knowing that this mental health is a medical problem for a start, and then there are actors. Stakeholders, like we like to say in this part of the world,
okay,
who have a critical role to play. And this is a very important part, because if we miss this part, then it's going to lead to more problem than the solution, than the prevention.
Okay.
So, so you say that again.
So, like I said, when we have issues like this, there are important figures or stakeholders that need to be approached. We have trained counselors. You understand? They don't just say, this thing is not bad. They listen with some level of some skills, like non-moralistic, non-judgmental. You don't want to say some things and the person say, why have you done that? The person just shuts you off. Then continue and complete whatever that the person is planning. Right. So we have the counselors, we have the psychiatrists. Perhaps some of this condition, like I said, can be interwoven. So sometimes there might be a function of a serious mental health condition, because I said it that at that time that person is deciding to take. The moment that idea is coming in, that planning, because it could be in stages. There's an idea that is a thought disturbing, that okay, I have to end it, I have to do this. Then there's also a plan. Okay, this is okay. Some people must have bought this tablet or whatever, several things. Okay, this one will not work. I'll do this. These are plans. Some will start writing notes, writing. These are plans, and it goes on from there. Then the person now attempts. Oftentimes, it's not the first attempt that is completed. Many people from statistics, they must have attempted at least about 20 times before they complete it.
This is where I'm going to bring Joy in as a counselor. She's going to she works with people who recover. Which means that they attempted and did not succeed, most likely, or probably on the way. And Shegun John just mentioned something about stakeholders and knowing what they have to do. At what stage do you get to meet people who have mental health issues?
Okay, most times when it's at different stages. The best stage which is the preventive or proactive stage, I would say. That's when people feel they start having the suicide ideation. They think, okay, I can't take this anymore. Okay, let me give you an instance of somebody that I just worked with recently, and he called me. I have this group that is an emotional and mental health group, you know, so people will do things monthly and then people discuss their issues. Okay, so he came back and what was the problem? This is a family man, you know, and things just didn't go well at some point, you know, and then that idea starts coming. You know, I said it before, and I keep saying this a lot. Most people that I've interacted with that wanted to end their life, they just wanted an escape route. They just wanted that escape route. So when people are able to meet you before they go further in the planning that he was saying, there's a lot of things involved in suicide. You know, like for instance, when you're depressed, when people are really depressed, they cannot commit suicide. It's when they are coming out of that depression, they get energy to even commit suicide. So suicide involves even energy, involves works. So it doesn't just happen. Do you get it? So when somebody comes to you and says, okay, I feel overwhelmed, I feel like I should just end it. That's a very proactive level. At that point, a lot can still be done. They tell you, okay, you ask them what they have, something they are looking forward to. They have something that they can still hold on. somebody says, oh, because of my children, that's why I haven't done it.
Right.
And somebody says, because of my mom, that's why I haven't done it.
Right.
So at that level, you can take advantage of the reason why they haven't done it, to intervene. Then there's another level when they are coming out of the depression. When people are really depressed, most times, because they work with, they have to go. I have to emphasize it. Let me say this, because most times when I go places, people don't know that they can go to Yaba psychiatric hospital for antidepressants.
Good.
And it's always very surprising. They are depressed, but they don't know. They go for deliverance here and there. When you're really depressed, you need to see a psychiatrist.
What are even though I know a number of people know, but it's great to reiterate, what are the key signs for depression?
First thing, one of the major things in depression is low energy, lethargy. You don't want to do anything. Somebody can be depressed and be on the bed for 2 weeks without having their bath. Is that bad? If you really see someone, we've had issue of someone we had to go and hijack. The landlord called us, was a church member, and then we had to go there. He's been in the house, stooling, urinating, not eating in that same house. Most time the depression we see here are still mild. I used to tell people when they say, oh, don't be, I laugh. When you see people are really, really severe clinical depression, they're already impaired. Their mind is distorted. Do you understand? They can't do anything.
Right.
So low energy. So when you're feeling like, and there's this disinterest in life, you don't have interest in the things you used to enjoy doing. So that enjoyment, they always say, oh, I don't enjoy this thing anymore. I used to, but I don't. I don't feel like doing anything. So they can just be there doing nothing. So how can an adult not have their bath? It's surprising, right? But it happens. They can't move. They can't do anything. And then there's always two levels. They could stop eating, or they are eating a lot. They are using food to fill up that craving, or they are not able to eat. So there's always that up or it's down. It's not like it's not normal. The eating habits, it's not normal anymore. And then another part, they get sad, really sad. You can be sad. There's this momentary sadness that we have here and there due to one of two unfortunate incidents. That's okay. But depression sadness has to go on for like a period of 2 weeks consistently. You've been depressed, you've been sad for 2 weeks consistently. That's a sign of depression.
Good.
It has to be up to at least a period of 2 weeks. And then you feel like giving up. You feel sad, you can't do anything. So those are signs that you're depressed. So before the 2 weeks, if you feel that you're not enjoying life, you wake up, you don't feel happy, seek help. Something is wrong somewhere. That's not how you used to be. And then something changed.
Wrong somewhere. Joy Seki, I'm going to put you on the pause here,
Okay.
as well as the rest of the panel. Okay. We'll take a quick break, pay some ads, and we come back. Discussions will continue. The World Suicide Prevention Day, which has been marked today. Theme for this year's event is working together to prevent suicide, and that's exactly what we're doing, having a conversation, working together. I'm Aghogho, Oboh. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Hard Facts will be right back.
This is Hard Facts.
Well, welcome back. It's 5:30. I'm Aghogho, Oboh, and you're on Big Hat Fact on 99.3 Nigeria Info on this special day, World Suicide Prevention Day 2019. We're working together to prevent suicide. I'm not just saying that, but it is the theme for this year's event. Shewun Dosumu laughing. You can hear him there. He's here together with Joy Seki as well as Olusegun John, clinical psychologist, mental health advocate. Joy Seki is a counselor, and we have in the works the entire panel and all the stakeholders, like Olusegun John likes to say, discussing on the ways to prevent. Our numbers for WhatsApp. I'll give you the WhatsApp number before I open the line so that those of you who are not fortunate enough to get us on the phone lines when I do turn on the lines, you can communicate with us on WhatsApp. 0809 597 5805, 0809 597 5805. That's a WhatsApp number. If you got questions, you got comments, let me know. On Facebook, I'll also we're streaming this live, which means you can also join the conversation. I will then look at the comments when I have the time to do that. Let me break Shewun's smile while he's looking at posts on this day, encouraging people who are going through mental health challenges to know that it is preventable. Shewun, you do a lot with young people. The other day you were telling me about the fact that you decided to go to some universities, or rather tertiary institutions, and shocked at the number of children who suddenly think the world has come to an end because they're having low grades. And this is such a huge problem because it does coincide with the age you're in the teenage years into the early adulthood, where things like that are priority. That I don't have good grades, it means that the world has come to an end. And many of them sometimes don't know where to turn to. A few of them, unfortunately, have gone into depression, and some took their lives. I've seen that in a number of reports. So, what's the narrative like nowadays when you go into schools and see things happening?
Okay, this is it. Just last week, I was in one of the tertiary institutions, and you can't take away low self-esteem. Many of these people don't have so much confidence in themselves, and because in addition to bad grades, low grades, things become so very bad, and they feel they just can't manage the situation. I also heard of a secondary school student who took his life because he failed a class and he was asked to repeat, and his friends, as usual, were mocking him. Now they don't understand the implication of mocking him, and for him it was a very, very, very terrible state, having to repeat a class. So these are some of the common things that happen. For instance, you find young girls who they are very good friends, do all sorts of things together, but for some reason there's a fight and they have to break out. Now there's some secret that they all have amongst each other, and because maybe 3 or 4 of them are good against one person, now there's the threat of, I have your information, I'm going to release it if you don't do this. They blackmail each other, and it's very common, and that's what is adding up to all of the issues we're hearing about in tertiary institutions. Anxiety is quite a lot, but I always advise, because we don't have a very strong foundation, because if most of these teenagers or undergraduates can go back home and confide in their parents, this is what is happening in school, a lot of things will be averted. But usually many of them cannot even go back home to say, Mom, this is what is happening, this is what I've done in the last 6 months that I am very ashamed of. Because the parents are going to scold them, they're going to stigmatize them.
Whatever happened to the guidance and counseling units at the different? I see Joy shaking her head. I know guidance and counseling at the secondary or the university level, because these are things I thought probably is why you had them in the first instance.
yeah, are they very functional? That's another. Are they responsive the way you want them to be? Most times, often not. They are not. They are not as responsive as so. So the burden falls back on some of us who understand emotions. We have our daily lives. We're so busy with work, but because we are empathic and understand that when somebody is quiet for a while, there's a need to engage. Okay, the other day I spoke to some set of teenagers and I asked them, how many of you are if you have any issue now, you run to your mom. Out of about 20 plus, maybe 5 of them. And then I asked, how many of you will run to your dad? If you actually, about 5 out of 20, that's less than 30%. So it means that if they experience a very tough time or a bad situation like rape, they can't go back home.
So if they're not speaking to their mom or their dads or people close to them or even the guidance and counseling, Joy, who are they speaking with?
Actually, the problem is they are speaking to themselves. And unfortunately, it's like a child talking to a child about things of adults. Like Sheun said, I go to schools a lot to talk to pre-secondary and then secondary school.
Okay.
Most of them, they are afraid to talk to their parents. And why is that? We have a kind of parenting lifestyle here that is a bit kind of it's authoritative.
Yeah.
And so because of that, there's no relationship where children are relaxed to talk about issues that bothers them, because parents just want to be lord of all in their home. Okay, recently I was working with a young adult who his issue was grades. He had expected a 2-1. Everybody's expecting a 2-1 from him, and unfortunately now he's in final year. It turns out that it's likely he leaves with a 2-2, even on upper level up to 3 points.
Okay.
And then this guy, for months, he's been really down. In fact, it was someone that connected him to me. And there was something, it wasn't just about him, what I saw there. It was the expectation from his parents. And then my question was, have you let your mom know? He said, I can't. I can't look them in the face. Do you know how powerful that is? I can't look them in the face because they're probably going to tell me one of their friends' child is having this particular grade. And so for that boy, our focus was even working on how he could approach his parents and let them know that, Dad, this is how it is. And he was already having suicide ideation, like he said. That happens a lot with grades.
Because he had a 2-2.
Because his parents expect that. He started to tell me the dreams, what they always tell him about. And I said, okay, that's fine. But now it didn't happen. You were there before, and then somehow, whether due to your negligence or things happen, I can't say. And then you're not able to meet up. That's not the end of the world. And it took 3 months. I was on this boy for almost the whole of a particular semester, working on him online and all of that. And he was trying to come up with it, face the fact that this is my reality. So how do we make parents talk to their children, have conversation where they can tell you about their broken relationship, about somebody they are crushing on without judgments? No, but this is key. It's interventional. It can help prevent so many things because they talk to themselves, and both I'm 16, I'm talking to another 15, 16, 17-year-old. We are going through the same thing. Do you get it? So we are all naive in a way, but our parents should at least to a larger extent be one of the first people that we can talk to, but that relationship is not there, and then the teachers are overwhelmed with so much students to handle. So there's a lot of broken cycle, and it's not as it should be. So we need to find a way that beyond talking to themselves, how they can reach out to their parents, to the community, anybody that can help without judgment. That's very critical. We need to learn to listen to people without judging them. People want to let out a lot. People want to learn, but they are afraid of being judged because that judgment itself causes shame. And it's that shame and guilt that increases the pain they already feel inside.
Well, Olusegun John, you're a young clinical psychologist, which makes you perfect if any young person is going to look to someone to speak with. Is it easy on your part, or you also will have to break through a number of barriers to get to this people?
You know that mental health issues is you don't see them as a prototype that is, so far I use it for this person, then I use it for another person. In my own practice, we look at people individually. That is, you want to assess each person with standardized instruments and see that, okay, this is where these things are coming from. Like I always say that there are quite a lot of risk factors. You know, it's not like malaria that, okay, once you kill the malaria parasite, then you are done. But what we're talking about is, we believe human behavior, whatever behavior it is a function of the experience. That this over time, the person has been exposed to quite a lot of things. Maybe growing up, the family environment, like she said, like Joyce said. I said something earlier today. I said that perhaps our family or the society is failing to an extent. Because I realized that we are having more individualistic culture coming into the country. Technology might have to be blamed to an extent. You see the father on the laptop doing whatever he's doing. The mother is on the phone chatting something, and the boy come, Daddy, what's your problem? Did you get the money I sent to you? Okay, then it goes. Then every other communication ceased. Then how do we inculcate some important virtues into some of these children? So what I'm saying in essence is that breaking into one person doesn't have to be like, okay, a routine thing. You observe them. Of course, it makes it a bit easier when you are around their age. You understand their word. You understand exactly what, because the problem of this generation can best be understood by this generation. And you understand exactly what they're saying. You know, to some other people, they say, grade and grade and grade. What is that? Where we are in our school that time, if you get what I'm trying to say. So what we are saying in essence is that, okay, yes, we might be able to see into their word a bit clearer, but like I said in my write-up, I don't believe in having idea. Psychological practice is not a guesswork. You have to be sure, you have to understand that this is where this and this and this is. You're not a soothsayer and you are not a mind reader. So you want to understand that, okay, this and this and this is this. Then when you are able to deal with this substantially, then there should be resolution in some of these disturbing symptoms that you are looking
Let me
at.
kindly put you on the pause here, because I know a number of people are eager to call and converse with the wealth of experience I see here in dealing with mental health. So if you don't have our numbers are 012770993, which is the number for the female callers. I know a number of people give me stick that you dedicated line for the female callers. Yes, because we want to hear women talk more on our shows. And the number for the rest of the crew is 012771993, 012772993, and then 012773993. On WhatsApp again, number is 0809597585. Call us and let us hear what you have to say on this World Day for the Prevention Against Suicide, which we are marking here. And the theme for this year's event is working together to prevent suicide. I think it's such a perfect theme because it sort of recognizes everyone has a role to play rather than just a select group of people, which hasn't helped in any way the numbers. I think we have Iyede. Is that Iyede?
Yeah, this is Iyede from Iba.
All right, Iyede.
Hello,
I'm very well. How are you?
Very nice.
Please help us turn off the device you're listening with.
No, I'm not even with it. Okay, let me go off a little. Hello?
All right, great. Let's.
This is Iyede from Iba.
Please go on.
So, like what our, this, with the topic you are discussing is very interesting one because it has been a disturbing experience for a while. I lost a friend some years back to suicide issues, and because of that, when I heard issues like this, he makes me want to pay attention. It gives me concern. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes this issue of suicide, we don't really pay attention to it because the issue of this, my brother, I lost suicide mission with suicide. If I would have been sensitive enough, I would have been able to contain it because the reaction and everything, just as the lady there is saying, the depression was very obvious that I was a novice to it. So because of that, I lost him to this. He became a victim of this suicide. So anytime I had things of this nature, it gives me a lot of concern. So I really want to thank the people there for the education they are given so far about this particular topic, and I want them to really make it obvious to the public and make it find a way that the government and all institutions will be able to devise a means to identify those who are depressed in time and be able to give them the right education that will make them to come back to their normal senses.
All right.
Thank you, my brother. I'm not really composed over this issue.
I understand. Yeah. Sorry about. Thank you very much, Iyede. Hello. Hello. Good evening.
Chief Oboh.
Oh, Chief Christopher.
long time no talk.
Yeah, long time no talk. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Our guest in the studio, good one. I wish I listened to this like 2 years ago, because a lot of this suicide, this thing happened like 2 years ago. So I just pray for people to listen more. And like what the last caller said, somebody who is close to me too, we didn't notice that this is what he's going through. So at the end of the day, the young man just decided to do one or two funny things, and we lost him. So as I'm hearing you people discussing this, I want people to listen more. I wish Nigerians are listening more. But the government should do a lot. Things are not working, Chief Oboh. Things are not working. We are just deceiving ourselves. They should try and do something more, please. Chief Oboh, I want to thank your radio station. You know you're always in the lead now. You've allocated the line to the women. Kudos to you guys for that one. Thank you.
I'll give you the report at the end of the year to tell you how we overcame. Thank you.
No problem. You guys are always on the lead. Carry go. Nothing do you. What of Sandra?
She's fine. Sandra is on leave.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Keep those calls coming in. So sort of people saying things like they wish they knew about this a lot earlier. Is it a case of when this has happened, people sort of see it, or when it's going on, they don't understand while it's going on? Which of the categories you think people fall into more often than not? Joy?
I think both. Sometimes they see the signs, but they think they are not sure. Okay. He was saying something about we thinking that
that's Shegun.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said something.
No, you go he. We're not.
Yeah, because we are here. I forgot that we are not on TV. So Shegun was saying something about the idea of suicide being more viewed from the religious perspective here. Yeah, it's always been like that, even globally, just that they have gone beyond us. It was always like that. Mental health issues were seen as people possessing evil spirits. But unfortunately in Africa, we are still left there. The world has moved on.
I mean, people say things like, get up and go on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he should be sitting down and not move on.
Exactly. So sometimes they take them to church.
Yeah, so they ask him to move on, and because he's faced a major problem. He's faced major failure.
I actually think, that's just the best way they can react. You know what? It is well.
But it's not well.
The other day we were having that conversation, and somebody was called in and says, conversation is important. You can't take prayer. Prayer is fantastic.
Awesome.
But conversation is even more important. Yeah. And over the week, I was speaking to a friend who I noticed, for a while she's withdrawn for some reasons. She experienced fire, inferno, and people died right in front of her. So for her, she's also going through a lot of career issues. And then I called her, we got talking. I told her, said, I've been praying about it. I said, prayer is good. I'll encourage you to pray.
Yes.
But guess what? I can intervene for you. Just talk to me. Every week we can do 30 minutes. And you just have to pour all of these things out. Because there's no point you staying back at home and not talking to anybody about the issues that you're experiencing.
Yeah, very important. Conversation.
It's not well.
So a lot of people do not know.
It's well. It's not well.
A lot of people do not know these things.
Yeah.
They don't understand how it works.
All right. So sorry to interrupt. Let's take this call from Agbara. Wale? Is that Wale or Wale? Okay, Wale. Hello, Wale.
Hello. Yeah. How are you doing, my friend?
We're fine. Please go ahead.
Long time.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that we have to, ensure that the people are really educated. And when you see those, warning signals, then you can be able to know it. Somebody very close to me, had this issue sometimes. And then what she told me was that she just said that, why are you wearing a red cloth, whereas I was wearing a white? You understand? And then and a lot of people are suggesting, so many, even the church she went to, they were saying that it was a witchcraft. But sooner do I realize, when I took her to the hospital, the doctor told me that I just have to seek medical, service at a psychiatric hospital. And I took the person to that place. And then within a very short time, she was given medication. Yeah. And she was all right. And what we need to do is to make sure that we give them confidence. We tell them that, life is not, once you can be comfortable. But if you don't have people at your side, what we have in the environment now is causing it. The present state of the economy. Hello?
Yep, go ahead. I can hear you.
We have moved away from our traditional way of doing things. When I was very young, my dad had about four wives. We eat together. When you have issues, there's somebody that you can talk to. Not these days when we close door against ourselves. Some of these bad things that people are claiming, polygamy. I'm not saying polygamy is okay, but those days you have somebody you can talk to. People, you are loved. You are in the midst of people. Not now that we are just closing door against ourselves and we don't have people to reach out to. So before you do something that is funny, it's getting late and there's nobody to rescue you. Unlike that time when we are bubbling with life. So I think that is the issue. We have moved away from our traditional way of living. We have, taken Oyinbo's lifestyle, whereby they have things for themselves. Average children in Oyinbo land, you know that your life is assured. But now you are just closing door against yourself. There's nobody to help.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Wale. Jonathan from Igondo. You're on to 99.3 Nigeria.
Yeah, Aghogho, Oboh, how are you doing?
I'm brilliant. How are you?
Gentle people, I greet you. I'm excellent. Jonathan is my name.
Good evening.
Yeah, so I think what we should be, the message we'll be passing these days, people should avoid brainwashing messages. And you have a lot of them out there right now. A lot. Cut across religious ground, hair groups, social groups. People tell you that if you plant yam, you go grow now. And people just believe it, and when the yam does not grow, people start doing all kind of, people tell you that no, you are only meant to succeed, you are not meant to fail. Things like that. And that is not what will make the world go round. People must fail, people must succeed, people must die, they must born people. And that's how life is. People should be logical with their formations in their spirit. And if you fail, you know that if it does not affect your soul, you still have another chance. You can still go ahead. So that should be the message. And people that are giving message, brainwashing people, and it is many these days. It's many. I think they should be careful. They should be careful. If you are passing a message, pass the logical message to people.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. All right. Hello. Okay, it looks like we got a poor connection there. Is that Ike at Airport Road? Hello? 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 Okay, connection is poor there. Hello?
Hello, Shaku Maku.
Hey, Makushi.
Yeah, this is James.
All right.
This is James Darwin calling from this time around Aghogho.
All right, James Darwin. Please talk with us.
Well, I've been listening, though I wasn't much listening like that. I was going out and coming to so later I've heard. From my own point of view, one of the things that is causing such is some people not paying attention, as in family don't paying attention to the particular person who is affected.
Right.
Yeah, so you go through the process, you turn your thoughts to a human. Both of you interacting as if you are talking to someone. So, though it's voiced down to medical attention to, but mostly you just need someone to be around you that will make you happy, make you smile. That alone self can wave it away. For me, like I will say I'm kind of a little bit. Let me not say a little bit. I'm kind of going through it, but I don't wish to. I don't wish to because when I was I stopped working. I stopped working at where I was working just to start up my own business. Though I really save much to start up my business because that's what I was doing where I was working. So I just started mine. I've been doing it for 9 years.
All right.
So I decided to do mine. But the challenges I'm facing, seriously, no money to take care of my family and just calling colleagues to help me out. It's one or two challenges. So sometimes this thing gets me crazy that it's like leaving my family to just go and kill myself. But in as much all these things coming.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that. Looks like.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Okay. Wrap it up, James Darwin, quickly in 10 seconds.
In as much all these things are coming through my mind, thoughts, and I just stand firm because it's a challenge. This Nigerian Info has been one of the best stations that keeps me going. As in, I listen to all these things. So this thing has really motivate me that I fight it so much.
All right, James.
I do fight it every time. So
keep
this is what is making me to live.
All
yeah.
Right, keep being strong. Thank you very much, James Down. That's it for all the calls we have. Joy wanted to say something very quickly. We're out of time.
I wanted to talk about James, and I just wanted to encourage him that he should keep up with the fight, and then that it's okay. Usually things are not always that strict. What he's experiencing is just maybe the lowest. The next time will just be maybe perfect for him. So she just hold on.
All right.
You know.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Joy Seki. How do people get in touch with you on social media?
Yeah, at the my Instagram at the counselor.
At the counselor.
Yeah, the counselor. The C is K. The counselor.
The counselor.
Yeah.
That's THE
K.
Counselor.
OUNSELOR.
Okay. Thank you very much, Joy Seki. She's a counselor. Thank you, and that's exactly what she does. Trained counselor. Thank you very much, Olusegun John, clinical psychologist. Thank you very much. And Sheun Dosumu, thank you very much. You can talk to on social media.
I use WhatsApp.
Aha, I know clinical psychology. Sheun is a social media guy.
So that's Sheun Dosumu, OSEUNDOSUNMU.
Okay.
OSEUNDOSUNMU.
All right, you can talk to them on social media. On this World Suicide Prevention Day, they will attend to all your needs. We'll take a break and then it'll be time for the news with Godwin Asuku, and then we will have I Beg to Differ. Please keep listening. I'm Aghogho Oboh. Thank you.
More news and information coming